Today's episode is brought to you by Anthropic and their new AI model, Claude Pro. Get 50% off Claude Pro when you use our link, claude.ai/make it. That's claude.ai/make it, all one word, for 50% off your first 3 months. Now, on to the show.
So, okay. Well, he's leaving now.
We're very punny around here.
He's out. He's out. He's out of here suddenly. Papa Bear, are you ready or not ready?
I don't know what he's doing.
I'm ready. Give me like 15 seconds.
He's almost ready. He's 15 seconds ready.
I just thought of something really important to do.
Okay.
Oh.
There you go.
Rhym, this has never happened.
No, it happens all the time. What are you talking about?
He's abandoned set.
No.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Make It Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Barkley.
And I'm your host, Franklin. Did I just say Franklin?
Oh, that's
I'm not
right.
Franklin. Exactly. Chris talking about Linus on my hat. This is not Linus. Y'all missed that. And he said Pigpen. I'm like, no, bro.
No. His name isn't Pigpen. His name is Pigsty, right?
Is Pigpen is the character.
It is Pigpen.
But on my hat today, folks, is Franklin, and he's the first and only black character from Peanuts.
But he doesn't look black on your hat.
Well, maybe it's the light. You know what I'm saying? Like, Chris, I got a bunch of lighting on me right now, and I might not look black. But anyway,
he looks a little light. They did you dirty on that hat. They did you dirty on that hat.
No, bro, this is Franklin.
Because Franklin was a black on Charlie Brown.
I don't know if he was black, but he was definitely black. And the thing is that... And then listen, he was introduced to the comic strip July 31st, 1968.
Sounds like a thing I should know. Sounds like a thing I should know. Speaking of which,
what do we got, Chris? What's going on?
Well, with us today, of course, is producer Papa Bear. Thanks for joining. And our esteemed guest today is Rhym Guissé. Rhym, say hello.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Of course, we are super duper excited to have you here with us on the show. We're going to get into all kinds of stuff because you've been all over the world. You've produced podcasts, you've produced films, feature and short, documentaries, etc. Your background is so rich, and I would just love to get right into it. So, Nick, why don't we hop into some Story is King?
Story is King.
Story is King. All right. First things first. What should we know you for, Rhym?
I'm a multi-hyphenate. So I am an actor, filmmaker, primarily directing and producing. I also write, but overall, just, filmmaking in general is just a passion of mine.
Gotcha. And maybe you could combine this with this. Maybe you can combine what you've done already with what you're working on now in terms of letting the audience know what you're excited about now, right? I know that you've probably have too many projects to just sort of list them off. There's no fun in that. So I get why you didn't do that. But maybe you can say some of the things that you have, maybe the things you're most proud of, and then maybe what you're excited about working on now.
Absolutely. Yes. I'm super proud about my recent podcast, Charlie's Place. It's a 5-episode series about a really interesting black couple in the segregated South and Jim Crow era, South Carolina. And if you've ever seen the movie Sinners, they are basically, it's the same trials that they go through. They have a juke joint on the Chitlin Circuit. All the greats come through, and then they were attacked by the KKK. And music was a really big part of the story. So that was really fun. I'm also directing the documentary version of the story, and I've been on this for a few years on this story, so it's really close to my heart. And I'm also actually writing the feature narrative version of this story, which I think will be super exciting. I've got a lot of interest, so I'm really pumped about that. I'm also an actor. I kind of, I went to school for writing. I I started acting after that, because I realized I didn't really want to be a writer full time, and it's really challenging to,
Yeah.
to work alone. And then got into directing and producing, and that's been a real passion of mine, particularly directing branded content for studios and docuseries work, which is really fun, just kind of delving into people's stories while simultaneously still acting and performing in front of the camera. But being in front of the camera and behind has been really interesting to kind of jump in and out of. And then I'm still super proud of my short film that I wrote, directed, produced, and starred in called Carte. It's a semi-personal
Okay,
story, and
spell that
it's called
for the
Carte.
people.
Yes, it's Cartes.
Hmm.
Um, it's on the film festival circuit currently. We've premiered and premiered at the LA International Shorts Film Festival in LA, and we've gone all over the world, Amsterdam, and it's been so exciting. And we're still traveling. We're going to be screening at the Lincoln Center next month.
Dope. Yeah.
So a lot with the film that I'm super proud of, and I hope everyone gets a chance to see. So that film has pushed me to write a script, my next script, which I finished. We're in pre-production for. We're going to shoot it in
Oh
my
wow.
home country of Algeria in North Africa next summer, and it's a semi biopic film. So I'm really excited about that.
That's
There's a
awesome.
lot
That's
going on.
beautiful.
You're a busy lady, and it's funny you brought up Sinners, the great film from earlier this year. The the second I listened to just the first episode of Charlie's Place, which everybody should go now. Don't leave this podcast to do it,
Not
but
right
everybody
now.
should after this podcast go find Charlie's Place. It's on the Pushkin Network. You might recognize that from sort of the popularity of Malcolm Gladwell and some of those other shows that he has, like Revisionist History. But go to Pushkin and or Apple or Spotify, look up Charlie's Place. Her podcast will come right up. It's definitely worth your time. Very well done. And I thought about Sinners on the very first episode, and so it
So
is
did I.
it is such a perfect comp to. It's like listening to the movie in a lot of ways, and there's a lot to learn, and a lot that actually um, felt like home to me because I grew up in the South. I'm sitting here in beautiful Nashville, Tennessee right now, and there's a lot of relatability uh, with your storytelling and growing up in the South that feels real to me, tangible. I can put that in between my fingers. I can bite into it, and so kudos on that. Um, in terms of the short film, can you tell us a little bit about the subject matter, like what it's about?
Absolutely. It's actually about a young Malian woman who is anxious. She volunteers for a nonprofit organization that focuses on climate change. That's her passion. But her and her parents immigrated to Los Angeles from Mali, and they're undocumented, and
Mm,
they're going through the asylum paperwork to try and become legal.
okay.
But then the nonprofit organization asks for papers. And
Okay.
so she has to make an ultimate choice, right? Whether she will quit her passion and try to like do good and make change in the world via climate change, or facilitate maybe fake paperwork. And
Mm,
so obviously she doesn't make the best decision in some people's eyes, and then we kind of see it unravel.
got it. Yeah. And you mentioned being born in Algeria, and I think you've lived in Mali, you've lived in Paris, you came over here and first went to Louisiana. You've really been, all over the world. I assume that you're able to take your own experience a little bit, pour it into the short to make it so impactful.
Absolutely. I did focus a little bit more on, even though I am from Algeria and Mali, which are two very different cultures, there's Arab and then West African. I
Mm,
focused on the story. It's a short 13-minute film. It's a lot to unpack to showcase two cultures, which is truly my background. So I focused on one, which was Mali, because the point of the story was also to kind of crack open the idea that, a lot of the undocumented immigrants in LA are the stories that are told are primarily Mexican stories.
Hmm.
Right. Yeah.
Latin, Hispanic, which I understand because of proximity. But, I wanted to kind of open it up to showcase all the other, cultures that are dealing with this, that are just as, impacted negatively.
That's a really great point, because if you've ever been to the Bay Area, it's just an absolute melting pot there. Just for example, LA is the same way. San Diego, uh, uh, maybe a lot more Hispanic there, but generally the same way. It's a military town, so you're going to get people from all over. That's an important, really important story to tell. Uh,
Yeah, but also just showing the extent to which people are impacted now,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Again, because I think that there's a singular culture that people think about who are impacted, and it's not that at all. So I think it's very important to show the breadth of the impact. And
yes,
I think that's a very timely story to tell.
Unfortunately, when I wrote this was before the new administration came in. So I had,
Hmm.
we didn't know that that was going to be, so relevant, unfortunately, and it has become.
yeah. We
Yep.
heard that from the movie, the PTA film, Paul Thomas Anderson, the One Battle After Another. He just got lucky on the release of this, right? Like he's been making this for a long time, right?
No,
As
I
as
don't.
it goes in
Chris,
feature film.
I don't
You don't
believe in
believe
that.
that? You think it's a
It's not
conspiracy?
luck. No, it's not luck. It's kind of like, I've said this about myself for so long, whether it's through art or my poetry or anything. It's like that poetry that I write really isn't mine. Like, I'm the conduit for it,
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
right? So these stories that some of us tell, we're the conduit for it. And we have to start, like filmmaking, it has to start potentially 2 years, 3 years, 4 years, sometimes 12 years. Like, we learned this with Black Barbie. That process had to start
Black
12
Barbie's
years.
a documentary
Yep.
that was made by a local independent filmmaker. Just to give people context. Go ahead.
Yeah, but released right at the time the Barbie came out, the Barbie movie.
Right.
So it's
Yeah.
one of these things where it's the time is needed in order for it to mature and be prepared to come out when it's time. Right. And that's
Yeah.
the thing. So
Yeah.
that's
Sometimes
what
you
I
get
believe.
lucky with that. Yeah.
It wasn't luck. That's what I'm saying. It
Or
wasn't luck.
sometimes you get that coincidence,
This
because
was the
I
this
think
was
about
the
our feature
universe.
film, Nick. I think about our feature film, Another Version of You. The timing was terrible when it came out.
Yeah, it was.
We
It
got,
was. I
I
think,
would say we
yeah.
got unlucky, as they say in soccer. I would say
Yeah.
we got unlucky, but you would say we just didn't get our coincidence, maybe. But I
Yeah,
think,
or yeah,
sometimes
the
you
timing, the timing.
sometimes I think the timing works out, and when it happens, it's effing beautiful. That's all. It's like
Yep.
it's perfect, and I'm very happy for you, Reem, that the timing of it is great. But I'm unhappy in the sense that this is what we're going through for you to get that right. Like, it
Yeah.
tends to be something is happening in the world that a film touches on, and that's the timing. So it turns out a lot of suffering has to
Yeah.
happen, and then
Bittersweet.
film. Yeah, it's very,
Yeah.
yeah, Nick, exactly. It's like it's very bittersweet, the way it works. But I think that's awesome, and very true what both you guys were saying. Was there a moment, Reem, that you knew you wanted to pursue a life in film and TV and production? Do you remember that
Ah,
moment?
I do. Well, yes and no. It was a series of moments. I as far as I can remember, far back, I've always wanted to be um an actor, a performer. I actually was very much a performer at home. My parents will definitely say that. But I think as far as telling stories as well, I was very much a storyteller for, gosh, for as long as I can remember. I remember in high school I took creative writing classes, and English was like my favorite class. And you learn about Shakespeare and everybody, which is like great, but I was really more excited about telling these multi-genre stories that were inside of me, of worlds that like I didn't really see on TV yet, and I
Mm,
still haven't. So I'm really excited to see this evolution of like where film is going, especially now that like streaming is really it. And
mhm.
international voices are kind of coming into the fold a lot more. So yeah, for as long as I can remember. Now, my parents didn't always support me into going into film and TV because I mean, till this day, I don't think they know what I really do. But they're very
Oh, that's
supportive
great.
now. They're very supportive now. I just it's been a challenge to kind of getting them to warm up to, like, I want to be an artist, and to immigrants. Like, it's really they can't wrap their heads around that.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
doesn't feel safe. We've had that conversation before here where it's like,
Yep.
that's what they want for you. They want you to be safe. They want you to have something they know you can fall back on. And that thing is usually money. And that money comes from a stable career. And stability is the antithesis of art, right? So it's like, they
Oh,
can't
that's interesting. I'm going to
imagine.
write that down, Nick.
Yeah, they can't imagine how you can be safe, but you're
Stability is
proving
the
that to them. I think that's the
antithesis
point, right? You're
Yeah.
showing
I
them that
mean,
you can have this amazing life and certain
of
levels of
art.
stability. We know that there's an up and down, but you're
yes.
happy, you're taken care of, you're safe,
Yeah.
and I think that's wonderful to them.
That's what your parents want. But you heard what you said, Nick. How many times have we heard that story about
Yeah.
being an early performer, performing for your family, always having that little extrovert on your shoulder that says, "Go do this thing," and then Nick, you heard her say, "World building." Right?
Hmm.
We talk about that a lot, like this idea that you're not writing a story, but you're building a world. And I can't remember who I just heard talking about this the other day, man. Like, gosh, I'm having like this is like the second time already. I can't remember. Like, a writer was saying that the characters we're speaking to the writer versus the writer giving words to the character.
Hmm.
Like, he
Yeah.
built the world and the characters were just telling him what they were saying. That's a really cool way at looking at writing and world building. Okay, last thing in this segment. What's a piece of advice you live by? It could be from anybody or anywhere. It could be off a billboard or from your mom, but like, what's a piece of
Yes.
advice you live by?
So my dad
Mhm.
is a mathematician, and so
Boom.
since I was really young, he would say, I don't care what you do, whatever you do, whether it's vacuuming, whether it's, school, whatever, do the best you can absolutely do. Be the best at it as you can be. Like, he's a Virgo too, which like aligns,
Ah.
but
Hold on. Ring. This is the advice Papa Bear gave me as a child. And I am also a Virgo. And he is also a Virgo. Go ahead.
no.
I'm not kidding.
Seriously?
Yes.
That's
The one thing that was
wild.
driven into my head all the time as a child is, I don't care if you dig ditches, be the best ditch digger
Yep.
on the planet.
That's I mean, he didn't say the ditch thing, but it essentially it's that. It's not like digging, but yes, it would be
Yeah.
like, if I didn't like wash the dishes right or whatever, he would be very much like, listen, whatever you attempt to do in your life, and this is a fragment of that, this is a piece of that, you have to be the absolute best at it. And I will say, I think
Mhm.
that my work ethic was constructed from that. And
Yes.
I
Yes.
don't think that anybody can outwork me. Like, that's my POV right now, for as long as I can remember. It's like, no one's gonna outwork me. I'm going to do the best I absolutely can at whatever.
It's I love that. And I live by the same, if the roles were reversed and you asked me that, that's the answer I would have spat back at you. And I love the imagery of digging a ditch, by the way. So we
Mm.
laugh at it a little bit because it's like, why are you digging a ditch? But and who for? But when you think about a shovel going into the dirt, that is what the damn advice is about. The grind of it. That's why that opening scene from There Will Be Blood, which our previous guest hates, Jonathan Bowen. That's
Hmm.
why I love that opening scene. It's Daniel Day-Lewis in a hole. That's the entrepreneurial way. You got to get in there. You have to do it. you can't. You can try to hire somebody later, but you have to do it. Same thing with the origin story, Nick, of the young lady who started Louis Vuitton shoes, those the red bottoms. You know, she like
Prada.
or no, the red bottoms. You know, they're famous for having their high heels shoes.
Yeah.
Um, I think
thought Prada did that.
I think everybody copied them, but
Okay.
they were the first to do it. And her whole story was she wasn't going to be able to do that, Nick, until she had there was a guy making them in a little hut basically, and he would not partner with her until she workshopped with him. She had to go in unpaid every day and learn how to cobble, because he was fine being inefficient and making a great product. He's making this great product. Basically, Rhym, rich white women were going to buy this, and it was their little secret. Okay, it was their little secret. And she said, we should scale this thing. We should blow it up, because I don't want to do that. I'm cool being inefficient as long as I'm making this great product.
Yeah.
And she finally talked him into that. But the only way that he agreed was that she had to come in unpaid every day. I think she did it for 90 days to learn his craft and the way to make it great. Anyway, love that.
Gotta know it inside out. I think that's a large part of why I feel very confident now, is because while I have the creative side that was my foundation, right? Writing, acting, directing, which a lot of it is world building.
Mhm.
But I also have physical production experience. So I kind of went up the ranks in commercial world, from a coordinator all the way up to supervising production supervisor,
Okay.
production manager, producing. So knowing budgets inside and out, casting. I interned for a casting director. I really wanted to know every aspect of filmmaking that I could possibly know, with the exception of, knowing the gears to a point of like being in the camera department, which obviously I was not. But that's, knowing it inside and out, like that really helps inform, one and the other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
Chris,
relate to that
I got
journey.
two notes. So one is a little housekeeping thing. So it's Christian Louboutin.
Yep.
So that's the first one, right? Because it's the red bottoms. And the second thing is that, Rhym, you mentioned something that is actually really near and dear to my heart right now. You mentioned this idea of like cross genres. And I don't know why I'm dipping into this so much lately, but like I'm dipping into like that, the dip. I'm dipping
when you dip, I dip, we dip.
We dip.
Makes it a double dip.
That's right. I'm straight
Shout out
dipping
to
into hip
Frederick.
hop. Right, dipping into hip hop, and I'm sharing it with my son because I want him to understand like the difference between hip hop and rap and whatever this thing is that we're listening to now. But I'm like, look, man, one of the beautiful things about hip hop, I was playing for him Walk This Way. And I was like, listen,
Run DMC.
you got Run DMC and
Aerosmith.
Aerosmith, man. Like this doesn't happen anymore, right? You've got folks back in the day, hip hop, that were sampling stuff from all sorts of different genres, because there was a time where we knew that there were multiple genres, but all of us were all in on all of them. Right. We listened to rock, we listened to country, we listened to folk, we listened to jazz, we listened to classical. And then when we made music, it was an amalgamation of all those things. Right. And I love that, because it's what I tend to realize is that the reason we do that, and if you look back into like early days, you go 40s, 50s, you actually had people just remaking songs. Right. So someone would hear a blues song and turn into a country song. Right, here in a country song and turn it into an R&B song. Why was that?
Well, we were just talking about that last week with Johnny Mitchell.
Yeah, but the reason we do that is because we're all experiencing similar things, right? That the music of hip hop, the music of early days, was really a lot of working class people music. So it didn't matter which, ethnicity or cultural background, you could connect. So I could easily take that country song and convert it to a blues or R&B song, because they were saying in their genre what I wanted to say in my genre. And that was the beauty of it. So Rhym, I'm thinking that that's kind of like when you say multi-genre, it's like, it doesn't really have to be one or the other. Or guess what?
Nope.
We can make it all of those. So that if you want to hear the story in your genre and we want to do it in horror because that's the way we get the story to you, let's do it. Right? You want a documentary? Let's do it.
Yeah.
100%.
Well,
And
those are bridges.
sorry,
I
I
was
was
just
just
going to say those are bridges to new content, new creative paths.
yeah.
Yep.
And to that
Go ahead.
point, I was just going to say, for some reason in filmmaking, they really, especially as a director, they want you to stay in a lane. They want you
Hmm.
to choose a genre and get really good at it, which I understand, establish yourself in it, and then you can kind of jump genres. But I feel like some of the best examples of folks who have shown, like, I can do comedy, Jordan
Mhm.
Peele, but then I can jump
Yeah.
into horror, psychological thriller,
Yeah.
and really knock it out of the park. And I feel like he's helped kind of crack that door open for a lot of us, especially as like Black filmmakers.
Yeah.
But people are still kind of wary. You know, you see Bill Hader, right? Multi-hyphenate as well, incredible in front of the
Super
camera, behind the
talented.
camera, right? And he's able to direct, act, write, produce, but also came from comedy, able to do, you know, drama, able to do horror or psychological thriller. So I really hope that the expectation for filmmakers to kind of like stay in a lane, right, and establish yourself kind of goes out the window with as time goes on, because it's not true and honest to who anybody is, even as a viewer. Like, you're not only interested in comedy, you know, we're not so one dimensional. So
Right.
I really hope that um filmmakers and directors kind of like stop feeling like they need to play in one and play with this one note. I really hope that they're inspired to say, hey, guess what? I have these other genres and like should be okay if I want to do comedy or if I want to do drama or whatever. So I love that. I love the multi-genre thing, because that's really, for me as a filmmaker, my stories really are rooted in showing different cultural aspects, no matter what genre. So I really, when we're talking about world building, I love to showcase like, hey, this is a really interesting part of Africa, or this is a really interesting underground aspect of Europe, or
Mhm.
whatever, you know, or whatever culture, whether it's hip Black culture in America or whatever. So that's what I'm interested in. That could come into different forms.
Yeah.
You
Really,
got it.
really well put. And Nick, that I think does it for Story is King.
Ooh,
You ready to do some
nice.
audience polls?
Oh, I'm ready, man. You know,
All right. Let's
I was
get into
born
these
ready.
audience polls, sir.
Yes, audience polls. Okay, so this is kind of a bridge, as PB said, between
No, it's a
your.
poll.
Well, bridges are made out of poles.
Oh, okay.
These guys, you gotta
It's
love
the
them, right?
foundation for the
It is.
bridge.
It is the foundation for the bridge.
Hmm.
So we're going to bridge between the
Hmm.
filmmaking side and what Charlie's place is, which is kind of a that 5-part documentary series. So we asked our audience, what type of documentary do you watch most, and we gave them 4 options, and those options were true crime, nature,
Hmm.
politics, and biography. So I'm going to go in order of what
Okay.
they said.
We should have
So
wrote
which
political.
type? Yeah, politics. So we've got the first number 1,
I think that was
true
intern
crime,
Sam. I think that was David who did
63%.
that. Who did that?
Okay.
Hmm.
Then we move into nature at 18%,
Hmm.
biography at 14%, and politics or political at 5%. So again, we've got true crime just leading the pack. It's killing it at 63%. Now, what do you think about that? Is that your perception? Like, do you see one for you? Is that how you
True crime.
think about documentary, whether it's films, podcasts? Are you seeing that you have that penchant for more true crime type content? Where do you fall
For me,
for you?
um, I've
It's all good.
yeah, I've never been a big true crime person. Um,
Okay.
I've watched some, like the most popular ones, like The Staircase, and some of the bigger ones. I would say that's not the majority of what I watch, or even like my interest level isn't that big.
Mm.
Um, and what I find with true crime shows is they do so much research and work, I think, to try to get to the like psychosis of the like criminal.
Yeah.
And that just never interested me much. I
Humans
think,
try to understand evil, right, Reem?
Yeah, but that's the
yeah,
key for me, Chris. So, Reem, that's why I don't really watch or consume that content, because I think by continuously, constantly diving into the psychosis, the psychology of evil,
Preach.
you just almost not necessarily forget, but you significantly minimize the impact to the victims
yeah,
Mhm.
and their families. So, like, when Dahmer came out,
Dahmer
I
wasn't a
was
documentary, though.
it doesn't matter, man. It was documentary style. It was like it was a narrative based off of that story.
Hmm.
And
Hmm.
I'm just
yeah,
saying that it's true
yeah,
crime is my point, right? So
yeah.
with that, it was sickening to me. And it was
Hmm.
Yeah,
extra sickening to me because, the families of those victims did not approve of their family member being depicted in the
that's
way that
right.
they were. And I think that is the draw for true crime, is the evil, and all of the victims and their families get left behind in the process. And I just don't, personally, I don't think that's right. If you want to do it from the other perspective, which is, hey, help us catch these people, right? Help us prevent this
Some
type of stuff from
podcasts do
happening
that. They've
again. And
become
they
sleuths
do. But
themselves. Some documentaries try to go and solve the
yep,
murder.
some TV shows unsolved
Netflix, though,
mysteries.
has not learned that lesson. They have the Ed Gein story out right now called
Yeah.
Monster.
Yeah,
Same
exactly. So that's
same
that's
playbook.
my thing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think for me it's that as well, yes. But for me, I find that a lot of these, especially these serial killers and stuff, they do it for the fame and you're giving it to them. And I feel like I don't
Ah,
want to feed into that. They
Yep.
they they become legendary to a certain degree, like the Zodiac
yeah,
killer.
yeah.
And I don't like that because at the end of the day, they're getting what they wanted, right?
Mhm.
And instead of adding fuel to the fire and giving them the notoriety that they truly want, um I agree with you, Nick. I think kind of focusing on the victims is the way to go. You can tell the story from a POV of the victim, which
Yep.
allows the audience to empathize with them and not the killer. Because I'm sorry, like I don't care that these things happen to this kill, the killer, and this is how he got to this point. Like there's always an excuse.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Um, so that's just my personal take.
Yeah. And the reason
That
I'm
last
asking
point
that
is
question,
valuable too. Just really quick, Nick, is
yeah, go
the
ahead,
Ed
Chris.
Gein story. That's exactly what they do. They say, see, this is why he was a killer. This is why he's dancing around in other people's skin. His mom was terrible. Anyway, go ahead.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
one of the reasons why I asked that question is because this is not just a poll that we've done, but I think if you were to look at the data, the statistics on this, you'd get the same answer. Like true crime is the top, right?
Yep.
So when it comes to content that we're creating, even like Charlie's Place, you know how easy that could have been for you to say, most people like true crime. So
Yeah.
let's just twist this a little bit
Let's lean into
and get
Charlie's Two
into the
Guns.
right. Let's get into the criminal element that maybe he participated in or was surrounding
Yeah.
him. And let's do that so that we
Mhm.
can get some more eyeballs and more, I would say in this case, more ear holes on the
Yeah.
content, right?
Yeah.
So I think, but again, from where you are, your perspective on the content, you weren't going there, right? That your authentic
No.
space is like, no, I get it. The stats may say that, but that's not the story I want to tell.
At all. And I also feel like it doesn't lend itself to the actual truth. As a filmmaker in the documentary space, it's very sensitive material when it's someone you're telling the story of someone that no longer is with us. And I
Mm.
feel like I want to honor Charlie and his wife Sarah and their memory, but also be true in the sense that a lot of the criminal stuff was just hearsay and
Hmm.
how would you say it in English? Like rumors. So they were, they're rumors. And if you're approaching it from a journalistic standpoint, which I tried to, you can't really factually state that. We
Yeah.
allude to it because he was
Hmm.
a man of mystery, but we do not delve into it because also that's not the story. um at least not in my eyes. And a lot of the people I got to interview, that wasn't really what they were interested in. You know, they were interested in what the couple, Charlie and Sarah, were able to provide for the community, how they created a really strong, like a great stronghold on the hill for everybody, for the children. Everyone had such interesting, vivid memories of them. And they endured a lot, you know, and they were able to achieve so much. So I'm always trying to come from a standpoint of empowerment, especially when it comes to Black stories, because I
Mhm.
feel like that's more interesting and more important than the other stuff which we get anyways.
Yeah,
I
and
love it.
and 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 I'll just wrap this segment on this, Nick. I'm really shocked. And maybe it says more about our subscriber base than, and shout out to all the subscribers. Okay.
Yep,
Not
we love
personal,
you. We
but
love you.
maybe it says something about our base that political was only at 5% or politics was only at 5%. I think documentaries have an opportunity to really shine when they focus on sort of what's happening at the highest level of power and being able to speak truth to power. So anyway, shout out to the subscribers. If you're listening to this on Apple and Spotify, come over to YouTube, search for the Make It Podcast, subscribe. It's a great time over here. And if you're already watching the show, find us on Apple and Spotify, rate us 5 stars, leave a review if you have an extra 30 seconds. We really appreciate it. And with that, Nick, Rhym, Papa Bear, can we pay some bills?
Oh, I mean, it's always good. Yeah, like we
Yeah.
want to keep this thing going, so let's make it happen.
And Papa Bear getting his ink ready, get that check going. Yeah, let's do it. And we'll be right back, guys. Hey everybody, Chris here, and today's episode is sponsored by HelloFresh. Fall is here, and with it comes cooler nights, heartier meals, and the craving for something warm and satisfying. That's where HelloFresh comes in, bringing you comforting chef-designed recipes and fresh seasonal ingredients right to your door. This season, they've taken things to another level, Nick. They have, with their biggest menu refresh yet. All right, say hello to a whole new way to do dinner.
Man, when you said warm and satisfying, I thought you were talking about me. But
Mm.
yes, you're talking
Yeah.
about HelloFresh. But listen, I know that you mentioned like a bunch of cool stuff, man. I think you said the biggest menu refresh, all sorts of good stuff. But you left out the fact that you can get some low-cal meals, lots of protein, and they actually taste good. So I also want to remind folks, like, look, this isn't for people who are on a diet. This is for people who are actually trying to get like a healthy routine, right? This is about healthy lifestyle. So HelloFresh to me is like hello fitness, hello new body, hello new health. That's what this is about. So that's why we're all in.
Yeah, we're all in. I have to say, these meals are absolutely delicious. I had the white cheddar crunch burgers, believable. The tomato mozz paninis. It's the best, one of the best sandwiches. That pesto that's on there. It's one of the best sandwiches. No cap, one of the best sandwiches I've ever had. And you
Yeah, they're
make
good,
all
man.
the stuff. You make all the stuff yourself at home, so it's really great. I can't do anything but like ditto everything you said. Look, the best way to cook just got better, right? Go to
Yes, sir.
hellofresh.com/make-it-10fm now to get 10. This is a crazy deal, Nick. 10 free meals
It is.
and
It
a
is.
free
It's
item
legit.
for life.
Yeah.
You get a free item for life.
That's fire.
hellofresh.com/make-it-10 F as in Frank, M as in Mary, make it 10 FM now to get 10 free meals and a free item for life. One per box with active subscription. Free meals applied as a discount on the first box. New subscribers only, and it varies by plan. But anyway, the point is hellofresh.com/make-it-10fm to get 10 free meals and a free item for life.
For life.
I'm
and
hungry
that's the
already, Nick.
idea. HelloFresh, health for life.
There it is.
Let's get it.
Hey, everybody, shout out to our sponsor, Anthropic, and the latest version of their AI model, Claude Pro. Claude is the AI for minds that don't stop at good enough. It's the collaborator that actually understands your entire workflow and thinks with you, not for you. Whether you're debugging code at midnight or strategizing your next business move, Claude extends your thinking to tackle the problems that matter. Claude's internal and external research capabilities go way deeper than basic web search. Think comprehensive, reliable analysis with proper citations for clients. What does that do? that turns hours of research into mere minutes. Now, I have to tell you, Nick, my favorite part by far is using it on the phone, right? It connects to all my other productivity apps on my phone. And so suddenly I have this high end assistant and taskmaster in my pocket. So outside of the phone, you can connect Claude to professional tools like GitHub, Jira, HubSpot, Notion, Google Workspace, and then you can sort of watch it become this command center with context from all your work, right?
My dude. So yeah, my take on this is that creatives like us and our audience are always juggling a million creative thoughts all at once. Story ideas,
Mm.
character arcs, new ways of leveraging existing content. But what I love about using Claude is that it feels like having a creative brainstorming partner that I can bounce my ideas off of. I can drop an idea, ask it to help me build on it, and it helps me shape the idea and make it actionable. It's fast, comprehensive. You got to say it's comprehensive, works as an extension of me, not as a replacement for me. So with that, it's become part of my creative process.
100%. We used it recently to edit some CSS code on a website we're building. It's really awesome and fast, and it just keeps iterating. And like you said, it builds upon what you're doing. It doesn't replace you, it builds upon your ideas. Okay, so everybody listening, are you ready to tackle this bigger problem in your life, in your creative workflow? Here's how you're going to do it. You're going to sign up for Claude today, and guess what? Love this deal, Nick. 50% off Claude Pro when you use our link, claude.ai/make it, right? That's claude.ai/make it. You use that right now. They're going to give you 50% off the first 3 months of Claude Pro. What a deal. It's a great
It's
deal.
not bad. It's not bad at all.
Right. And you get access to all the features that we mentioned in today's episode. So all that connectivity we talked about, all that workflow and productivity work we talked about, that all comes 3 months with 50% off. So right now, go to claude.ai/make it to get 50% off your first 3 months. And now back to the show.
Let's do it.
And we're back. Nick, are you ready to usher us into some filmmaker Q&A?
Oh, I can definitely usher us
Ursher,
into that process.
the Ursher Raymond.
That's
That's
right,
how
Ursher Raymond.
I love
That's
black people,
Luda.
man. I love
Yeah.
us. You know what I mean?
I
Like
know.
his name is the Usher, right? But we
Right.
can't let it be Usher,
No,
right? The singer's name was Mario. But we can't do that. It's gonna be Mario.
Mario.
It's Mario. It's not Mario. If
Yeah.
you say Mario, you're lame. It's Mario. If you say Usher,
Yeah.
you're lame. It's Ursher.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what's up.
We do
All
that.
right. So yeah. So before I get into this wonderful filmmaker Q&A, I would love for
Mhm.
Rhym to just give our audience. I know she's already kind of prepped them a little bit about
Yeah.
Charlie's Place, but just give a quick overview synopsis on Charlie's Place, because actually my filmmaker Q&A today will provide some parallels to that wonderful docu-series on your on the podcast.
Sure. So Charlie's Place is a docu-series podcast show that has that's set in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, in the Jim Crow era South of late 1940s, early 1950s, about a really incredible Black power couple called Charlie Fitzgerald and Miss Sarah Fitzgerald, and they opened a juke joint on the Chitlin Circuit that had all the greats come through, blues and jazz. You had Ella Fitzgerald, Billie Holiday, Fats Domino, you name it. They went through and they performed at Charlie's Place. And the focus of the story is about Charlie and his wife Sarah and how mysterious they were because no one really knew where they came from. But they left such a big impact on the community, the Black community called the Hill, the neighborhood in South Carolina, Myrtle Beach. And they were entrepreneurs. They had multiple businesses, and they allowed mixing to happen in their juke joint. White people would cross over and would dance and want to listen to the biggest acts of the time there. And that went on, and it really unified the community in a way that, was really powerful. And of course, there were people that didn't like that, primarily, white people who were for segregation. And so the KKK came and just wreaked havoc. And so you hear a lot of interviews from people who, lived in that era, in that time, and that remembered this incredible couple and what they were able to achieve that was so impossible to do in that era. So I'm really proud of the podcast. I hope you get to check it out.
That is perfect. So my questions, and I'll have 5 of them, will just so happen to
1, 2,
coincide
3,
with
4, 5.
faux fifth
Yeah.
with each of the episodes of your 5-part series. So the first one, of course, episode 1, Whispering Pines. So just as the Fitzgeralds created a literal space where people could coexist across racial boundaries, as you mentioned, the independent content creator bears the responsibility of creating narrative spaces where marginalized voices can meet, they can be heard, and they can be humanized. In moments of cultural division, storytelling becomes a form of architecture, the building of rooms where truth and empathy can coexist. So, my question to you is, how do you view your role as a creator in constructing spaces of dialogue when the cultural climate encourages separation or silence?
What a question.
It's a big one.
I think, and I hope I'm able to articulate
Pause.
correctly, but
No, not really. That was for what I just said.
oh,
Go ahead. No,
I think to answer your question, um, I my approach to storytelling has always been big picture to help unify and not separate.
Mm.
I think because I am from different places, I've always been kind of like the outsider. Never really felt like I fit in, but then feel like I can fit in everywhere. And so with the latter, I really hope to take the audience on a journey where they can feel like they fit in everywhere in whatever story I'm
Mm.
telling. And so a large part of that is trying to drum up empathy via the characters. Um and really showcase resilience, which is honestly a universal it's a universal thing. Everybody wants to be resilient, everyone wants to overcome obstacles, whatever they may be. And so because I'm really interested in stories like that, I think I am very mindful of trying to create spaces that will unite and help people understand different cultures that they normally wouldn't be exposed to, or um learn about. So in a fun, digestible way, or in a way that really engages them. So I don't know. I hope I answered it.
No, that was great because I think about
Nick,
that in my
what?
own.
How do you grade that? How do you
No,
grade
no,
that answer?
no, I think
A,
again,
A
it's a
minus, A
wonderful
plus.
answer
Okay, good, good,
because
good.
no, because the thing is that I do that in my own life as well. I think growing up as I grew up, right? It's like I'll just say dark skinned boy in a very homogenous world, right? That didn't quite look like me. I could have felt like an outsider, but I didn't. Right? I was
Mm.
part of that world. So now the question is, how do I make sure that my unique self isn't lost in it? And now that I've been in that world, I see myself in a room and I'm like, oh, I'm the only one that looks like me in a room. That's okay. I'm not lost here. Like I'm at home here. But because of that, I can be at home anywhere. Just like you said, like I'm not lost in it. Like why would I be lost? Right? These are humans in the room. Right? They
Yeah,
don't need to look like me. They don't need to speak like me. As long as they, as they say, if you cut me, do I not bleed? Right? It's like they're human just like me. So that's it, right? Like as long as you have that connection and you tell stories from that place, it doesn't matter who's consuming that content. They'll feel just like you feel. So I think that's why I said it's a wonderful answer. And primarily because it's your answer, right? It's unique. It's yours. It can't be wrong.
there
All
you
right.
go.
So my second one, right? So episode 2, Sin City. Charlie's Place used music, laughter, and dance as radical tools of survival. Joy itself became rebellion. Independent creators today hold a similar duty to remind communities that creativity, celebration, and art are acts of defiance in the face of cultural erasure. To choose joy in storytelling isn't escapism, it's resistance. So, my question to you is, what role do you believe joy plays in dismantling systems of silence and empowering communities to reclaim their narratives?
I mean,
Another big one.
joy is so important. I think, I think it was Toni Morrison that really harps on the fact that,
Love Toni Morrison.
in order to have a sustainable um career or just life at storytelling and continue, you have to have moments of joy. You have to prioritize joy and uh and self-care and being able to take a break from time to time, because that's what makes it sustainable. You can't just go at 100 all the time. You'll burn out. Particularly as a creative. And as a creative myself, an artist that is very politically involved and interested in politics, when you're just like, "Oh my gosh, I want to make all these documentaries. I want to make all these stories about all the marginalized groups and what everybody endures, and it's so important." It's so easy to get lost in the negative, especially
Mhm.
the negative rhetoric of what we see in today's climate with everything. Um in order to continue, right? In order to push through and not lose steam, I have to prioritize my joy. I have to take breaks. I have to, because the reason we do everything is to have joy, is to enjoy art. Art is beautiful. Art is meaningful to everybody, no matter what their backgrounds are. And I think people just don't realize consciously that they're prioritizing art, but they are. People watch movies when they want to relax, or TV when they want to take a break, or people do want escapism sometimes, and so they do turn to the arts for that. And in order to create that, you have to have joy. You have to come from a place of hope, love, and joy. And so whatever you do in order as a storyteller, in whatever format, I think you need to prioritize joy, because it is a resistance. A lot of the oppressive regimes want to squash joy. A lot of
Mm.
them don't want us to have joy. And so in order to really push against that and not only continue the battle and the fight, you have to take time to center joy for yourself and for your community, right? Everyone, I love that right now it's trending. Everyone's talking about building community, building community. Love that for us. But what does that look like? That also includes moments of joy together, right? So I really find that just the act of joy is resistance, because the powers that be who are against progress don't know that the heart of killing somebody's soul and purpose and um, just hope is killing joy. So whatever we can do to sustain that, I think is so key and is so important, and that's a large part of how I function as an artist.
I love it. And you said it like perfectly, because that's the spirit of it that I have as well, which is that's when you kill the soul, right? Like you can honestly you can browbeat the person, right? You can even physically beat a person, but if you kill their soul, if you kill their hope, if you kill their spirit, that is when you've won. But that's that act of defiance, is that if you can find joy or create it in the process of being beaten down physically or emotionally, psychologically, that is an act of resistance. That is an act of claiming and or reclaiming your own power. So I love that you drive
Yeah.
towards that, and hopefully that all of your work, we'll be able to see that as well.
It's deep. It's deeper than listeners might realize, right? Like Milan Kundera wrote about this in a lot of his books, which is that one of the very first things that you can't do when you're under, let's say, a Marxist regime or a communist regime is you can't smile. you're not you're not allowed to do some of the things that are sort of this individuality of joy that like that needs to be removed from you, right? Like we're all together. You can't be this individual, uh, having a great time. What's so great about you that's not, like, so when that becomes a rule and then you can police yourself, say, hey, that person over there is, they're breaking our rule of individuality here. Like then the powers that be don't have to do anything. They can just step back. And it works like that way in Germany too. You have a neighbor telling a neighbor, and then you don't have to do the work yourself. You hands off. You've already set the wheel in motion. So it goes really deep. This idea of joy, connecting you to your soul, Nick, as you mentioned. Oh, that is choice. Now, I don't know if you want to do this now, Rhym, or not, but when you said take a break, I thought, okay, how does taking a break to find joy jive with someone who wants to be the best at everything you try? Because I struggle with that. I'm a
That's
workaholic.
so real. Yes, that's
Yeah.
real. I am a workaholic as well. It's an illness I'm trying to fix every day. It is honestly. I think a large part of that is while I may not constantly be intentional about finding joy every day
Mm.
all the time, I am surrounded by people who love me and who make sure that I do. And whenever I do take the time to do that, I'm always replenished. My energy is replenished. I'm inspired. I do my best work. And so, with time through the years, I've gotten better, I think, at, so people like us that are A type personalities. I think for me, I literally like don't laugh, but I schedule it in.
Oh, I do the same thing.
You have to. You have to. No, it's a
Yeah.
necessity. Yeah,
You
it
know,
makes total sense.
I put it in my calendar, and I make sure that I carve out time to do it. Whatever those activities are for me, whether it's going to
Yeah.
an art gallery, with my husband, or something as silly as like going to the Korean spa for the day and just completely unplugging and just
Hell
being,
yeah.
like that is my happy place. Listening to music or going to a concert. I love live music. So many things, reading, primarily talking to my family back home in Africa, FaceTiming or, WhatsApp video chatting, reconnecting to my roots. That's also such a big part of, because it helps remind me like why I'm doing this.
Your why. Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. All right, so we're gonna move on to
Hey, Nick, you got
episode
to get
3
you got to get you a Turkish bath. All right.
in my house.
No. Just you got to go get one. It'd be too much for your house. Be too much for your house.
I know.
You'd have to open up a business.
That's
if you
too
did
far
it.
to travel.
If you did it, you'd have to open up a business, bro.
Yeah,
But-
I would.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I would.
But you go
I
get
would.
you one. All right, go ahead.
Yeah. All right. Episode 3. So power seeds to power. So Fitzgerald's growing influence challenged the social order, as you mentioned earlier, illustrating that with visibility comes danger, but also responsibility. Similarly, when independent creators gain influence, they inherit a duty to wield their reach ethically, amplifying truths that established powers may wish to suppress. Authenticity becomes both a risk and a responsibility. So the question is, in an era where algorithms reward sensationalism, how do you protect the integrity of your message while still reaching a broad audience?
That's a tough one because I don't necessarily make art for everybody. And I know that it won't be for everybody.
Yeah.
My
Good.
my voice and my storytelling isn't for everybody, and that's okay. Um, I'm not digestible myself for everybody, and that's fine. I'm not fixated on that. I think I focus more on who my stories would naturally resonate with, and that's my audience, and I focus on building that. As far as sensationalism in entertainment being hot, and on trend, I don't follow trends. So that doesn't really apply
Drop the
to me
mic.
or the no, truly, or the types of stories I'm interested in telling. By chance some of the stories that I have are super like broad-based commercial. People would, they would be considered like blockbusters. but that's not every piece, and that's not the goal. Um,
Mm.
and I think that sometimes, though, by focusing on telling a universal truth, it turns out to be very popular with most
Mm.
people. And that's fine too. That's great. That's a happy accident, right? Um, but I don't ever focus on sensationalism. I was never somebody that was interested in like what were those like newspapers that just lie about everything all the time
Oh
and
yeah,
Tabloids.
the
Tabloids.
tabloids.
tabloids, I
Yeah.
don't really care. I'm not at like the grocery store like reading them or paying attention to them. So that's
Well, now, Reem, it's like that's in the algorithm, is what Nick is saying. Like that's
yeah.
social media for you. That's
Yeah.
everywhere you go, and you have this cadre of um, people, entertainers, commentators in the world that understand that so well, and then we turn around and call them talented. I often wonder, are you really talented? Uh, if it's like are you talented if you punch somebody in the face on World Star Hip Hop? You're going to you go viral, but
Yeah.
did you do something? And so some of these commentators and look, I know it's a job. We do this job. We want to get attention too in the attention economy, but I don't know if you're just verbally punching people and you figured out that the algorithm likes that, right? Then I don't know.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
feel you
It's
on
this
that. I think
festering baculus across the body politic. Anyway, go ahead.
yeah. No, I totally I get you. I think there will always be a space for that. There's a space for everything. And people will always want, I believe, ultimately audiences will always want the option to consume that, just like there's interest in AI slop. And
Yeah.
so there will always be these options, right? And I think there's a lane for everything, and that's fine. And that's just not my lane. That's never been. I don't consume it either. It's not part of my diet. And
I like that.
I find that a lot of the people that follow me or that I really like connect with and vibe with are people that are interested in similar things that I'm interested in. Culture, politics, the arts at large. And so that's just not my corner in my bag. But people who want to verbally punch somebody, you know, will do it regardless, I think, if people are watching them or not. That may be a part of their
See,
personality.
that's where I kind of maybe Rain, but that's kind of where I disagree. It's like I tell people if the money were giving verbal bouquets, that's where that cadre of people would go. They would go to the place where now we can make money giving people compliments. And they'll just go wherever they have to go. Their allegiance is to the thing they're doing, not to the place and audience they're doing it with. If we call AI slop, if we call this content that's being created that has no meaning because humans didn't create it AI slop, we need a name for this, Papa Bear, Nick. I like I'm going with intellectual pap. We just have we are overwhelmed with intellectual pap. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I just my little the quick 2 cents on that one is just that I think Reem and I are definitely cut from the same cloth in that people are just interested in my following sometimes. I'll reach out to different creatives and say, "Hey, I'd
Yeah.
love to have you on the show. This is what we're doing, whatever." They're like, so yeah, what's your engagement? Like what's your following? I was like, well, if you're asking me about my following and you're not asking me about my purpose, then maybe we're not a good connection.
Mm, mm. Now you
That's
get
what
to
it
drop
comes
the
down
mic.
to. Yeah, it's drop, bro. It's sitting over there. Like it's just like that's not what I'm about. I'm the same way. And
Yeah.
Reem said it the way that I say it is right. It's not part of my diet. I tell my kids all the time, I was like, you are what you consume. It's not
Mhm.
just you are what you eat. It's what you consume, right? Through
Yep.
every method of consumption, you are that. So think about what you're consuming, because you will either by intention or unintentionally you will become that thing. So I'm with you.
Mm.
I don't consume that stuff either.
Yeah, that's just chasing trends as well too, though.
Yeah. It
So,
is, and it's but purpose for, at least for us, right, wins out.
Yep.
All
There
right.
you
So episode 4,
go. Oh,
Mr. Nobody
everything is
from
for Papa Bear.
nowhere.
yeah.
So so Fitzgerald's obscured past and the mythologizing of his identity. That's a word. That's
I
a
know
word, just so you
that's
know.
pretty good.
Mythologizing. Yeah. Mirror how many cultural narratives are buried beneath time and intentional omission. That's a space that is really interesting, right? That intentional omission. Independent creators serve as archaeologists of truth, responsible for unearthing what institutions, we're seeing a lot of that now, history books, and collective amnesia have buried. So your art
Hmm.
and the art of creatives becomes an act of recovery. So my question is, how do you determine which buried stories to bring forward, and what ethical considerations guide your process of uncovering them?
Whew. What my ethical process is for guiding me to uncovering certain stories. I honestly just go whatever calls to me, naturally or organically, whatever interests me. So many things will pop up that will interest me, and I literally have in my notes app like a whole running list of stories and ideas that I wanna say and tell. It's a
Love it.
never-ending running list, and I prioritize them based on how I feel at the moment. Um, and as far as like my moral compass, I do try to think about, is this something or a story I want to tell that my ancestors would be proud of
Mm,
me telling,
okay.
that my future kids or whoever would be interested in hearing, and would be proud of? So, also a big slice of that is, will this help move the needle forward in some way?
Yeah,
Um,
and I think about it like, I said archaeologist, right? So
Yeah.
in the filmmaking space, it's very difficult not to think about Indiana Jones,
Yeah.
and I think about that as well. It's like he goes into these spaces and disturbs history,
Mhm.
right, in order to extract it for the purposes of maybe display or understanding. So that sometimes I think about that when it comes to those ethical considerations. I'm like, is it always okay to
mm,
stir things up, right? Because this, like, by even asking the question, you're stirring up memories, right? By opening up the conversation, you might be reminding people of some of the worst of times, right?
yeah,
You might be exposing things, or even talking about something that others want suppressed at that time. So it's like you said, you have to kind of follow your moral compass and say, hey, look,
yeah,
yes, I might stir that up a little bit, but if I don't, then the history of it will disappear. What is more
Mhm.
important? That temporary angst, that temporary discomfort that someone might feel, or the historical relevance of a person, of a place, of a time in our lives, right?
Yeah.
that's such a and I really came up against this a lot during Charlie's Place for my interviews for the documentary and for the podcast, particularly because there was a lot of information that I uncovered and discovered that actually wasn't even added in the podcast,
Mm.
because some of it was so juicy, and I was like, "Oh my god. This takes it in a completely different direction." But it's
Yeah.
so talk about, enticing and interesting gossip.
Podcasting's version of Kill Your Darlings.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly. And so I had to really take a step back and go, will this juicy information help the story at all? Will the damage do more will it do more damage to the person's character and add anything to the story and
Mhm.
move the story forward, or will it not, and it's just gossip and it's like good to know? So a lot of times there was a lot of that type of whittling down that I had to do, with so many things popping up, and this goes along with even writing. It's like so many stories are coming and you're just like in one script and you're just like, okay, which one am I following and what really matters? And uh you constantly have to do this like hierarchy, how do you say it in English? Like hierarchy, like
Hmm.
rearranging
Hierarchical was right. Yeah.
yeah, hierarchical rearranging of going, okay, what is the purpose of this? And a lot of it I have to kind of follow my gut as a filmmaker and go, well, let me put myself in those shoes. How would I feel given all this and will it help move the story forward? But it is a big responsibility. And I understood kind of the big expectations that were on my shoulders for telling this really incredible story. And so because the community opened up to me in the way they did, I wanted to also give that respect back. So that's
Hmm.
part of that, is going, will the community be stirred up and feel some type of way about it? Because this is also a community that I fell in love with, that I became a part of. And so I wanted them to feel honored and respected as well during the process.
Yeah, well, when your North Star is love, your compass will never steer you wrong. So
There you go. All right.
that's
Well,
awesome. I love
there's
it.
also a legal consideration, Nick, to that too. And Reem, I think, the bigger your platform, the more you have to consider that, right? Like if you are recording a podcast, in your mom's basement, shout out to all the podcasters recording in their mom's basement, and you have an audience of 50, you can say whatever the hell you want. But
Yeah.
when you work for Malcolm Gladwell and you're on the Pushkin Network, you have a real consideration, both morally and legally, to make sure you're stirring up, as Bob Marley said, the right stories. All right, Nick, go ahead.
Yep, that's right. All right,
Yep.
last one. We got to episode 5, which is entitled All Costs. So, the violent backlash against Charlie's Place underscores that truth often demands a cost. Independent creators, too, face the risk of backlash when exposing uncomfortable realities. Their responsibility is not only to tell stories bravely, but to preserve collective memory, ensuring the sacrifices of those who came before are not erased by fear, indifference, or revisionism. So, my question is, so Chris and I often ask filmmakers who are pitching their films, why now? So, my question is, why are stories like Charlie's Place important right now?
Hmm.
There's kind of the obvious answer, right? Which is what's going on right now in America and the administration in rolling back a lot of Black history, trying to
Mhm.
bury a lot of Black historical facts. Um, this helps. This helps slow that down to some certain degree. Um, and I wanted to be a part of that because
Mhm.
I think it is preserving a legacy and a part of history that I think helps uplift and Black people and helps them understand that there were so many stories like this across the country of really well-to-do entrepreneurial Black people that were well off and attacked for it. And so I think those stories need to continue being told as a way to show resilience for Black people, but also hope that listen, this was during segregation. This was tough, and they went up against the KKK and legislation in allowing white people to cross into their juke joint, which was highly illegal. Um, and they still did it. And so I think stories like Charlie's Place really help. As a filmmaker, this is my feeling that it really helps the average person understand that you can be an average person and you don't need to be a Charlie's Place or a Charlie Fitzgerald to be on the Hill in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, and to be part of an incredible story. That entire community created them, helped
Mhm.
create them. How, if they hadn't attended the juke joint, Charlie's Place would be nothing. But they showed out, they supported, they leaned on each other. There was such a strong sense of community and togetherness that was the through line throughout this podcast show that made me realize that that is what is going to, I think, endure regardless, as long as we keep telling these stories and reminding each other that that's we can turn to each other during the hard times.
I love it. It's all about community, and we say we try to build that, with our show as well. And we know
Yep.
just how important it is. It's one thing for creators to create, but it's another thing for the audience to consume. So, we're always telling people, watch these movies, listen to these podcasts, consume the independent content that's out there, be a part of something that's more
Yeah.
meaningful. And, we're all playing our part in this beautiful game of art. So I really do appreciate that. And it is an amazing podcast. And I'm glad I was able to kind of walk through each episode and ask you these questions. So I really appreciate that, your time and your answers.
Of course. Thank you for taking the time to listen to it. I'm super proud of it. So many great people worked on it. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a great filmmaker Q&A, Nick. And there's a line in one of the earlier episodes that you wrote, great writing on the whole podcast. And I think you said survival for Black people back then lived between breaking the rules and abandoned materials / resources. And that, like, whoa, that's like a karate chop to the throat right there. I'm like, oh shit, like I'm wide awake now. Like, okay, because that's so true. Like the reason, and you might forget to ask yourself this very question as you're listening to the story, is the reason why Charlie Fitzgerald had to run this kind of business that had a legal front, maybe a legal back, different things going on, is because he couldn't be a free man. Right? It's that simple. You had to find a way to survive between breaking the rules and then taking little things from here and there in the community that people had abandoned. Go ahead, PB.
Well, no, I was going to agree with that.
Yeah, I think that's incredibly powerful. Speaking of you, Papa Bear, do you want to lay a things we should know on us right now?
Let's do it, man.
We're ready.
I love
our
it.
brains
I'm game to
are
learn.
Our brains are moist. They're spongy with all the we're primed thanks to that Filmmaker Q&A. We've got our intellectual light bulbs on. We're ready to go. If we're never more prepared for this than right now, Papa Bear. Thanks to Nick and Rhym.
Well, don't squeeze out that brain though.
Okay, my brain is so wet. What does that mean?
I don't even know. I'm
I don't know.
So I'm just waiting for Papa Bear to get into it so Chris can stop. I'm like, what's happening right now? I don't even know.
My brain is soaked in Sunny D.
No, see,
let's go.
Keep going. All right, PB,
let's
what
go.
You got?
Rhym, you've let us know a couple times that you were born in Algeria. You've lived in several countries, but that's your heritage, and you're very proud of it. And so my question is, who was the first Algerian-born person to win an Oscar?
Oh my God.
First Algerian. Do we need the year, Papa Bear? Do we need the year too, or no? Or is that just bonus?
No,
time?
He didn't ask for the year, man.
No, it's a who, but you can add. And what did that person win the Oscar for?
No, we're not adding anything in.
Did you wait, Papa Bear?
No clue what the answer is.
Can we ask that as a clue? Like what was the year range? Like maybe you give a decade range, or maybe you give like a 50-year range. Is it before 1950?
Or maybe you give the thing they won for. How about that, Chris?
1981.
1981. So we have our first clue, folks. 1981, the first Algerian Oscar winner.
They won for score.
So think about the films in 81, Nick.
Oh, for score?
They won for score.
First Algerian-born person to win an Oscar.
Algerian-born is the key.
It's a composer. They won for score for a film in 1981. That's what I'm going with.
That was during the John Williams era, right, Nick? Like where he was scoring everything. Like
not everything, but I'm just saying. Remember, there's a lot of things.
Is it John Williams? Was John Williams born in Algeria?
Look at that. You never know.
I feel like it's probably a French person that has Algerian heritage. Because that's typically what happens. And then you don't know they're Algerian until like you go to Wikipedia and you're like, oh, they were born like their parents are Algerian or they were born in it's usually a French, like someone in French cinema.
So you think it's
Hmm.
Gérard Depardieu? That's who it
I knew
is.
you were going to say Gerard Depardieu. He's the only French guy you know.
Well,
I know Gerard. I know Gerard is not
No,
French. Is
think
not
he-
Algerian.
Yeah, well, I didn't say
I
he was
think
Algerian. He was
he
Algerian born, is what he said, right?
he
That's
did
that
win the
tricky part.
Oscar. He did win the Oscar for the largest nose.
Yes.
Hey, look at that. Hey,
The largest
Roxanne,
nose
Roxanne.
Oscar. Shout out to Gerard Depardieu,
No.
as Nick said. He put all
I
that
jest.
mustard on it. He put all that Dijon
So-
mustard on that.
Composer.
Yeah,
I don't think
know.
I don't think I know who it is.
No,
Okay,
it's a composer. It's a composer, and
Okay, you're going
they
for
scored
Papa
a
Bear.
film.
composer.
Papa Bear.
Yeah.
Papa Bear. Papa Bear. I would like to do my impression of Nick saying Gerard Depardieu, please.
Okay.
Gerard Depardieu.
I'm looking over there because this dude don't know nothing about French.
You see that
And,
tongue?
you
See,
know,
see,
so
see
I'm
how your
looking
tongue
over
has to
there.
go. See how your tongue has to go through your front teeth.
No, it's Gerard, and it's Depardieu, so it's just very
How
simple.
much how much spit is on your screen right now, Chris?
Oh,
Yeah,
covered.
exactly. It's on my
Covered.
face, Rhym.
All of
Like
it.
it's on my
Covered.
face. Like I
Ask
got
how much
it.
is
Like,
on my face from when he said
You know
it.
what I'm saying? Like no, because no.
Okay. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
wait. Rhym,
You-
how about you say it and let
So-
Chris understand how it's
It
supposed to be
is
said? Come on.
It is Gérard
Gerard.
Depardieu.
Is exactly how I
Gerard
said it, Christopher.
Depardieu.
Somehow
Thank you
when
very
she
much.
did it, it was very, very, very.
Nice. You just
I-
have
That was-
just have a you have a preferential
Pardon my French, but that was
ear
almost
for the
sexy
female
right
voice.
there. That was
That is
very, very
all that
good.
is.
Yeah. All
That's
right.
all I got to say.
All
All
right.
right, Papa Bear, go ahead.
You want me to give the answer or give one more
Yes.
clue?
No,
I'm
no,
going to
it's
guess
already
John.
used.
I'm going to guess John Williams for the fun of it, even though I don't think he was
Okay.
born in Algeria.
Go for
Okay.
it.
The first Algerian-born person to win an Oscar was film editor Thelma Schoonmaker, who received the Academy Award for Best Film Editing in 1981 for her work on Martin Scorsese's film Raging Bull.
Wow, it's a Raging Bull. That is a thing we should know,
Raging
Papa Bear.
Bull.
The extra thing you should know is that she went on to edit every one of Scorsese's films since Raging
Huh.
Bull.
Wow.
That's
What,
incredible.
that
was
is
her
a
name again?
thing we should know. Spell her last name, PB.
Yep. Say it again.
Thelma Schoonmaker,
Mm.
and I would say
Schoonmaker.
Schoonmaker, but
Mhm.
Schoonmaker.
Papa Bear's
SCH
German. Mhm.
SCHOONMAKER.
Yep.
Shout out to,
Yeah.
to Thelma Schoonmaker,
Now,
maker.
She was
We
yeah.
apologize to you. You've done
That's not-
a mountain of work, and we didn't know your name. We apologize.
That's not an
she
Algerian
asked-
name either.
No, it's
no,
not.
and here's the reason why. She was born in Algeria to American parents.
Oh,
During World
Yeah.
War II, when World War II got started, her parents evacuated
Yeah.
Algeria and to the U.S. briefly, but went from the U.S. to Aruba, and she grew up in Aruba, and she's baffled about American culture as well,
Yeah.
and didn't come to the States until she was 15 years old, 16 years old. So
wow. You see what he did, Nick,
but
there?
she-
Let's see the trick question part of that, Nick.
I knew it.
American
We all
parents
knew.
born in Algeria.
That's how it is. That's why I
Rohan.
didn't know it. I mean, do
Exactly.
Algerians claim her? Debatable.
Probably not.
I
But
mean,
here's
yeah,
what
debatable.
Algerians can claim. They did have a film that won an Oscar
Okay.
that was Algerian film called Z,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I know about Z.
1969 political
Yeah.
thriller.
Is it just spelled with the letter, or is it ZEE, or is it
Just the letter.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna watch that. I'm gonna see if I can find that film on Criterion or like on
Yeah, you heard Rhym say,
Uh,
"Oh yeah,
IFC.
Yeah, I knew that one." Like,
The other big
I don't
one that
know.
most
Did you
people
really
know
it?
about. Yeah, the one that everyone knows about is Battle of Algiers.
Oh yeah. I do know that
Yeah.
film. I haven't seen it. Full disclosure, but I
you
do
know it.
know
You've
it.
heard the
Yeah,
name.
you know the
You
title. Yeah,
tripped
that's a
on it
huge
one
title.
day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
Got it.
Battle of Algiers. Okay, so Thelma Schoonmaker, maker.
Schoonmaker, yeah.
Schoonmaker. What? What'd you say, Papa Bear?
Well,
Make her
you want the
mop.
German accent?
Yeah, do it German again.
Schönmacher.
Do it German again.
Schönmacher.
Maka.
Thelma
You
Schönmacher.
sound like the villain from Die Hard that wants to break the glass.
Schusten
Or shoot
Pinsen.
shoot the glass.
Shoot the glass.
Thank you, Papa Bear. That was a very, very good. Things we should know.
No.
Rhym.
Things Rhym should know.
Things Rhym should know. Very good.
Whoa.
Things
Whoa.
Rhym. That kind of rhymes. I like that interior rhyme
You
on
like that, right? You like how we
Things
did that?
Rhym. Things Rhym should know.
Rhym should know. Right. It's
He's
so
like,
close to we, but not.
that's modern hip hop right there. Rhym,
That's right.
are you ready to clear the set?
I am.
Oh, yeah.
Let's clear.
She's not really ready because we could do this for another 14 hours.
I know, we
or
could
so,
keep
but,
going.
You know,
This
we gotta
is-
go. We can't
this
be
is-
here forever, guys.
No, like one day,
Not another 14 hours.
whenever we hang up
Right.
whenever we hang up the microphones, we need to bring back a bunch of guests, including Rhym, and we just go. For
Yeah.
it. We just let everything end on its own volition.
Hey, we gotta get food and stuff, bro. We gotta like cater this
Yeah.
joint. Like,
Yeah. We just bring. Let's just have
Hey,
the
give everybody bathroom breaks.
I'm
and
down.
stuff. Like, we gotta
bathroom
do it.
breaks.
Yeah.
People come in, bring me a hoagie. I'll
Yeah,
put salt on it like I'm
exactly.
Cosby, and we'll it'll be all good. All right, Rhym, what are your 3 top films of all time?
Mm.
Oh, this is so challenging. I have so many favorite films. Okay, I have to say, one of the films that I think has like all the elements that I really love in storytelling is one that most people don't assume is my favorite and kind of takes people by surprise, but it's The Matrix.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Classic.
It's got tech, it's sci-fi, it's got spirituality, it's got all the really martial arts. I mean, I love martial arts, so it's got a lot of
Mhm.
aspects that I love about it. So I would have to say The Matrix.
Mhm.
Then I would have to say, have you ever? The other one is kind of it's popular. It's a French film actually. It's called The Piano Lesson.
Oh yeah. Yep.
I've
It's
seen The
crazy,
Piano
but I
Lesson.
love
Well,
it. Love it.
Wait.
Crazy movie.
Wait. Piano Lesson. That's also a play,
Mhm.
and it's not French. So this is a different piano
Sorry,
lesson.
the piano
Is it the
teacher.
pianist? The piano teacher.
think
There
it's
it
Might be
is.
the piano
There you go.
teacher.
Sorry,
Teacher.
not the piano
Yep.
lesson. The piano teacher.
I knew what you
The
meant
piano
though. That's a
teacher.
crazy movie.
I just love
Yeah.
the crescendo of it.
Mm.
It's so incredible. The actress is also like classic. There's so many aspects of the film that I really fell in love with. That's my second favorite, or just top 3. And the other one would have to be Parasite.
Parasite's so good.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I just love how they approach classism.
Yeah.
In such a unique and special way. So
Unbelievable. It's
love it.
probably my favorite movie. It's probably in my top 5 favorite movies in the last 25 years. Parasite.
Mm.
It's that good, and I think it's going to stick. It has staying power. Name the film you're embarrassed to admit you haven't seen.
Oh, okay, there are a
Confess.
lot because I have to like. There's a lot to catch up on. There's
Yeah.
just so much cinema, which is great.
Yeah.
I think the one
I
I'm
know the
most
film.
embarrassed. You do? What do you think it is, Nick?
Boys in the Hood.
Well, I was gonna say
Nick,
Cinderella.
that's actually not a bad
No.
guess.
No.
Okay, listen. In my defense, I haven't seen it, but I'm not
Oh.
that
See?
embarrassed about it.
Oh, okay.
You should be embarrassed.
Sorry. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not.
All right.
But
Yeah, it's all
it is on
good.
my list of films. It is on my list of films to watch.
Congratulations,
My husband
Nick,
does
on that guess. Yeah.
he does
Yeah.
he thinks he's embarrassed for me.
There's a
movie that
Criterion
I'm-
version of Menace to Society as well, like that. Like
Yeah, it's
that
classic.
got
I've actually
that,
seen that.
yeah.
Yeah.
that got booted up to Blu-ray and 4K. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
That's a fun film. The film that I'm most embarrassed that I haven't seen is probably you mentioned it top of the show.
Oh,
There
what
Will
am
Be
I?
Blood.
There Will Be Blood. That's
I
right. We did
haven't
mention
seen
that.
it. I haven't seen it yet. You
It's not for
know,
everybody.
Yeah, I wouldn't be embarrassed about that one though. I
Yeah.
mean, Daniel Day, like
Yeah.
everyone probably should see everything he's ever done. Just
I'm
on
Daniel
principle.
Plainview. I'm an oil man. That's how he talks in the whole movie.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know if I'd be embarrassed about that one.
I mean, it's referenced a lot. It is definitely part of. It is a large part of cinema, like American cinema. So it's.
Go watch
Yeah,
it. I think
I
you'll
hear you.
love
I'm
it.
gonna.
Kate, you should put in the skit from SNL with Bill Hader, since Rhym mentioned Bill Hader
Mentioned
earlier,
Bill Hader.
doing his impression of Daniel Plainview. It's unbelievable. Kate, just do the little clip where he introduces himself and drinks Keenan's milkshake. Okay. Name the film everyone loves but you hate.
Oh, that I hate. Hate is such
Yeah.
a strong emotion.
Like maybe it's
It
one of
is.
those things where everybody's talking about and gushing over this movie, and you're kind of like in the spot where you're like, do I
Meh.
tell everybody that, there was a great Seinfeld episode on this where Elaine didn't like The English Patient, but everybody around her loves it. And she has to keep lying and saying that she never saw it.
Hey,
I've never
because
really
her,
seen
because her
Seinfeld.
boss loves The English Patient, so she can't admit to her boss that she hates it. So it's kind of that
Chris,
situation.
Well,
Chris,
That's what you should be embarrassed about, having not seen
I've seen
Seinfeld.
Seinfeld.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I'm okay not seeing Seinfeld.
You're right. But
I'm
Chris,
totally fine with it.
But Rhym, I'll tell you, mine for a while was Black Panther.
Yeah.
Really?
Everyone loved it. You
Be-
didn't like
Everyone
it.
loved it, and I didn't. And I'll tell you real quick why I didn't love it. Because it is a white savior movie masked as a black people movie. You got to think. Watch it again.
Do
Who
tell.
saves-
No.
I'll tell you right now. If you watch the film again, who saves the day? It's the white CIA agent saves the day. All of a sudden, my dude, who was a former Air Force pilot, learns how to fly a flipping Wakandan ship without like any practice, without any education. Oh yeah, I flew a freaking fighter. Whatever, bro. You were in a Wakandan ship and you're gonna save the day. And not only did he save the day at the end, but he saved the day throughout. Who had all the connections? Who got
He
them
learned
on the
about
inside?
vibranium.
Who gave them the information? Yeah, watch that movie again. Everybody's over here, Wakanda forever. I'm like, whatever, my brother. You gotta watch the movie. Pay attention. You know what I'm saying? It's like when they said to do the right thing and everything else. Wake up! You know what I'm saying? Like you gotta wake up. At school days, right? School days. Wake up. And you
Shots
will see
fired.
what this is. Oh, shots fired, mic drop. Like I'm like whatever I need to do. I'm like y'all over here, Wakanda. Yeah, watch it again.
If you just watch for entertainment, it's a great movie though.
Oh yeah, if you watch it for entertainment, but that's not what people were doing. I'm saying, they were doing the thing, man.
People were talking about they wanted to move to Wakanda. I'm like, it's not real.
On that note, actually, you kind of reminded me. Listen. Would I love to be in a Marvel film and play superhero? Like Storm, like, that's fine. I would love to play superhero like Storm. Align.
Say it again.
But that's DC. But the Marvel movies, I haven't seen them really. I think I might have seen like the first couple, and then I just lost track. I just was like,
Everyone loves
get into them
it's
like
not
that.
Your jam.
It's not my jam. Maybe I got superhero fatigue. I don't really know. For me, I always liked the X-Men because that was like the comic books I liked reading.
Yeah.
But like Batman was really cool. Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight, epic. But
totally.
Yeah, because you like storytelling. You like legit story. Now, I'll say that for me, Marvel did it up to a certain point, and then straight up fatigue, but not just fatigue on superheroes, but like Once you stop telling good stories, then I have a problem with that.
Yeah.
Right. So I hear you with X-Men, especially if you go way back, X-Men, you're like, yo, those are quality stories that are being told.
Right.
It just happens that there's a superhero element and a villain element to it, but they're real stories. Batman, same thing. It's like you're getting real storytelling with this, superhero and villain guys with it. But yeah, once
Nick,
they
I wanted to
just
like Thunderbolts
kept,
more. I wanted to like it a lot more than I did.
so I like Thunderbolts a
I
lot
liked it, but
because
I
of
was
the
told I was going to
underlying
love it.
theme. Oh yeah, I mean, it's because of I enjoyed it because of the theme. What they did with Thunderbolts was what they have not been doing with a lot of the Marvel films that came after, after Thanos. It was everything they did was garbage. And then they came out with Thunderbolts and at least reinvigorated the idea that there needs to be an underlying story here. It can't just be about
thematic purpose. It needs to have a thematic purpose
it can't
that
be
lies
about
underneath it.
superheroes
I think
and
if
villains,
people
fighting
who were
each other.
bullied really like Thunderbolts. I've discovered that. People who were abused
I thought
really like Thunderbolts. People who
yeah.
have suffered misgivings about others in their childhood in particular. This is like 10 people I know for sure. They all love that movie.
Yeah,
and
or
I think
even
it
the nature
hits
of
that button
anxiety
for them, right?
Exactly. Like these are things like that's why I enjoyed it. It wasn't necessarily just because of personal experience, but because I could see how other people could connect with it.
Yeah.
That's why I like Thunderbolts, because I felt as though Marvel finally created something that could actually have meaning in a human's life.
Yeah.
Like that was
that
why
line
I liked
right there. That
Thunderbolts.
one right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but a lot of other stuff, Rhym, I'm with you. Like they're just creating stuff to just create stuff, and
I think it became to the point where I found that it was like formulaic.
Yes, you got it, 100%.
And when you're anticipating and you're right about what the
Everything.
characters are going to say and how the story is going to unfold, it's not as interesting anymore,
No.
But
100%. And just be clear to the audience.
Rhym. Hey, no, Chris, I gotta tell that's Rhym's problem.
Okay.
It's because she falls into this place of being an intellectual. Like you think too much.
Intellectual,
like that's
I do.
You're saying
just like my
intellectual
kids.
pap?
Facts.
My kids tell me
Facts.
this crap all the time. Like, Dad, you're thinking too much. I mean, thinking too much. I'm thinking, period.
Yeah.
Is that my problem? Yeah, just enjoy it for the entertainment. I'm like, it's killing my
You sound a little bit like Frederick right there.
mind.
Frederick shouted again. Shout out to Frederick Taylor. That's a good impression of him, actually.
Yeah, I just I can't. Yeah.
My God, I'm so happy for them.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty spot on, right? Like, good job, Nick.
Yeah, that's Frederick.
All right. Favorite cheat day meal, Rhym?
Favorite cheat day meal?
Favorite cheat day meal. You can tell us.
Okay, I love pastries. I love sweets. I have a sweet tooth. So it would have to be either a crème brûlée or I do love fruit tarts. I love them so much.
Yeah, me too.
They're so good.
Lots of custard, lots of
You got to get the small ones though. Right, it's got to be a tart. I don't like no. It's no. My mom would buy the big ones. They're like a pie, right? And it's just that slice you cut is always too big. But if you get the little one, like maybe you can have a second one, but that's it. Like you can actually control. You see, like Rhym, because my mom.
So you can control it.
You can because it's just a one. That's it. You get to enjoy it.
What the hell is he talking about?
No,
you can control the little pie. Well, you better bring your hands back up where you can see them. Talking about controlling the little pie.
I know you're talking about. She knows. Rhym knows. Yeah. I'm mad at you, Chris. I'm mad at you. But anyway, yes. All right. I'm with you.
I like that cheat day
those as well. Yeah.
Okay. Name 3 cities better than Paris, if you can think of any.
Okay, that's not a fair question because I'm, no shade to Europe, but like they kind of all start blending together. I just got back from Amsterdam and it's like,
nice.
We screened carte there. I think literally that I've been to or that I want to go to.
That you've been to.
That I've been
if we
to.
want to do sort of the journalistic thing, but you can also mention ones you want to go to that you believe will be better.
Yes, 3 that I've been to: Dakar, Senegal, obviously my city, Annaba in Algeria.
Okay.
And I mean, we don't want to be, how do you say it? Like, do I want to be biased to my cities, like in Mali
It's
and
your,
Algeria?
like Nick said earlier, it's your answer. Can't be
Well,
wrong. That's
obviously
right.
my cities, but I would say Dakar, Senegal, Senegal. I really loved Mexico City.
Ooh, I've heard about this.
Okay.
Mexico City. It's between Mexico City and Acapulco. I love both of them. And then I would have to say, actually, Philadelphia, where I moved here from.
Oh, wow.
Philly.
Wow. I
Yep.
didn't think
Love
Philly would
Philly.
make the list.
Love Philly.
Better than
I
Paris,
moved.
bro.
I lived in New York.
Shout out to
DC.
Americas.
Love Philly. It's a toss up between Philly and Montreal. I love Montreal.
Oh, I love
I've been
Montreal.
like 5 times. I've been 5
And I'm
times.
not
Love
pronouncing it
Montreal.
like you are. Just forget that. That's not going to happen. But I love that freaking city. I spent a lot of
Beautiful.
time there in 2017.
Yeah, well, I
Highly
figured, and
recommend.
PB,
Even with the
PB,
cold
did
weather,
you
Nick.
enjoy the German try that she gave you? She didn't say 3, right? She didn't throw it this way.
Yeah,
She
that's
said,
that's right.
It's
Yeah.
not
the-
German.
yeah, the German try, right? That's how you know. That's a tell.
That's good. That's good. I like it. All right, we'll wrap up. We'll clear the set on this one. Which tool is more powerful for molding a successful and thriving society? Maybe we just say thriving society, because I don't think successful fits. Which tool is
What
more
tool?
powerful for molding a thriving society? Mathematics or storytelling?
I mean, come on. My dad's going to hate me for this, but like storytelling. Obviously, no one's going, "Oh, well, let me just sit here and figure out, with formulas like what." No, storytelling, obviously.
Yeah, and I
No
think
brainer.
No
that, I
shade,
think
Pop.
no shade. Shout out to your dad, and I think that touches on something you were talking about earlier, Nick, during Filmmaker Q&A, about sort of these stories that maybe we shouldn't be telling the way we tell them. Actually, it was audience polls. Sorry, we were talking about Dahmer and Ed Gein and all that stuff.
Mhm.
I think one of the things that's very human is this sort of Native American based approach of retaining records, which is through storytelling, right? And it's about being able to retain the worst of human existence, the worst of human behavior, that anthropological thing, and then making sure each generation of new children, of new people, come around and know, hey, here's the story of the man who did this, here's the story of the woman who did this, and it's around the fire. It's very, very, very primal storytelling. So
It's
that's
also
why I think
African.
Rhym was right. Yes, African worldview,
So-
African. Yes, exactly.
So storytelling, in my opinion, originated in Africa.
I would say that too.
we're
I don't
the
want. I'm saying.
OG.
I am just saying that Native Americans here in America,
Yeah.
still do it. They don't. They tell stories to I don't know, go to the do the thing that we do. Anyway, go ahead. I want to hear this.
Yes. No, absolutely. Storytelling and what you choose to share through generations is what's going to represent, I think anthropologically, represent what is the most important story and aspect of that culture
Mhm.
or of that time. So if you're constantly, and true crime, these statistics have been around for at least the last, I want to say 6 years. True crime has been such an important part of American television. That's literally been what the majority of people have been tuned into for so long. And I think there's an interesting correlation between that and actual crime in America when it comes to gun violence.
Mhm.
And when it comes to serial killers and all this stuff. It's like there's such, I think, an underlying level of suppressed anger and rage, I think, in America that hasn't been confronted. Interestingly enough, we see it manifest mostly through white men, and it's not addressed. And when you look at these true crime stories, the majority of them are these white men
Yeah.
and center them. And so for me, I'm like, do we want to keep telling those stories which have been told? And if you listen to enough, I think, true crime stories, you start seeing so many patterns, right? Parental abuse, feeling isolated, not part of a community, and then lashing out and being angry and not knowing how to control their emotions and self-regulating. So that's understood and known. Do we want to keep pushing that forward, or do we want to shift focus on something else more important and healthier for the society? And I lean towards the latter.
Yep.
Yeah, Chris, but I do have to speak for Rhym's father.
Let
So
him speak.
so I'm going to speak. So I am not a mathematician, but I've studied, and one of the things that I often tell my kids is that math is easy. You know, I was like, whatever, Dad, it's super hard. So I hate that subject. I'm like, no, math is easy. Why is it easy? Because it builds upon itself, right? If you can memorize things like, simple addition, your multiplication tables, right? Things like that. Each of these things build upon each other.
Mhm.
And I look at it the same way for our history, is that everything from the past, it builds upon itself. And as you learn some of these simple formulas for how things operate, those simple formulas that you learn, those simple things that you memorize, will help you deal with the complexity of the things that come in the future. So
Yeah.
algebra, and then geometry, and then calculus. If you learn some of the fundamental things like hate against hate begets more hate, but you realize that a simple formula of hate and then injecting love, maybe that can actually change things. Those simple formulas that you learn, basic things that become a part of you, that become part of your rote memorization, like your times tables.
Mhm.
When things become more complex, you lean on the simple. And it's just making sure that you're using those simple things together that help you deal with those complexities of things that you may not even realize will hit you in the future. So I do believe in the storytelling, but I do also believe in the mathematics, right? You build those things or bring those two things together, then you can thrive. So I gotta
The answer that
claim both.
that's not the question, sir. You had to pick one or the other. Sorry, you
Well,
broke the rules.
I would dovetail off of that and say, for her father's sake, the very beginnings of mathematics, its transformation from those beginnings to what it has become today, that is a story. And maybe someone should tell it.
Math is a story, and it was told in the movie A Beautiful Mind with Russell Crowe. Guys, she did it.
Chris said it's all told in that one story.
Yeah,
Just watch that.
She didn't.
History of
She
math.
didn't curse her father. Why are we defending?
We're not cursing. We're not defending.
We're gonna come to your father's rescue.
That we
doesn't need
are
rescuing.
Speaking
I
through
appreciate it.
mathematics.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that, because it is the application of mathematics, which you're right.
Yes.
It's the social application of mathematics. But I
Mm.
think a lot of people look at mathematics formulas as an abstract theory. So not too many people know how to apply it and think about it in the social context. So you're absolutely right. Yeah, there's absolutely a way of utilizing that to better society, of course.
We need better teachers too. Like if teachers taught math in a story format, a lot of people would know math. That I know for sure. I can't prove that's true. I just know it to be the case. Rhym, you've been incredible. Can you please tell everybody where they can follow you on social media, see and watch all of your work, support you, whatever you want to share?
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me. This was a blast. Everyone can follow me on Instagram. My handle is I am Rhym, IAMRHYM. I'm not really on TikTok like that, like I used to be, but definitely Instagram. And yeah, I'm excited to kind of bring everybody along on my journey.
We want to follow along. You've got a lot of things sort of cooking right now, building, percolating from, Charlie's Place, the film, to the short film that's making its way around the festivals right now, doing very, very well. Pronounced caught, right?
Yeah.
Did I do that right?
Caught.
Beautiful. Or caught. Yeah. Did I say it wrong again?
Caught.
Did I say it wrong again? Caught.
No.
Yeah, there we go. But it's spelled CARTES, correct? And so you
Yes.
guys can go out, check that out, follow along
Mhm.
with Rhym's journey. And she is definitely a moving train. So with that in mind, we would like to end on this. What does it mean to make it?
To me, what it means to make it is to be able to continue telling stories and being able to support myself like I am
Mhm.
financially, and allowing to myself to tell the stories that, again, I think, my ancestors would be really proud of and my
Mm.
family would be really proud of, to see that come to fruition. We all have so many stories in us that we want to tell, and for me, I do have a lot percolating that I hope come to. I have like top 8 that I hope come to life, and so that's my ultimate dream. That's my sense of success, and also I think ultimately keeping my moral compass intact
Mm.
and keeping my sense of self intact. That's a big metric for success for me.
And it's a tricky dance, right? You got to keep your sense of self intact, your morals intact, but at the same time, you got to make the money. And that's where it gets a little bit tricky. So I really appreciate that answer. Guys, if you're out there watching this, you're already on our YouTube channel, you know what to do. Make sure you share this, like this video. If you're listening to this on Apple or Spotify, be sure to subscribe, follow, give us a 5-star review. If you want to give us less than a 5-star review, just hit us up on social media at _make it podcast on Instagram, TikTok, X. You can also find us on Facebook and DM us. We answer 100% of all messages. Still to this day, I'm so proud of that, actually. If you reach out to us, even if you leave a comment on a post, we are going to respond to it. So let us know versus giving us a bad review. Tell us why
No
we
one's gonna do
deserve
that.
it.
No
And
one's doing that.
we'll answer it privately if you want, if you have the courage. Do you have the courage to do it,
Mm,
folks? If you
no,
have the
no,
courage to do
this.
it. But hopefully you enjoyed this. You want to give us a 5-star. Also, if you're listening, find us over on YouTube. It's a good time. Search for the Make It Podcast. I don't know why the taxonomy is the way it is, but the in that is really important. Search for the Make It Podcast. Will be the very first thing that comes up. And when you get here, subscribe, check out our back catalog. It's so much more than just a channel. We have all sorts of resources for you, from community to shorts, clips, education, inspiration, all that stuff. Entertainment, of course, all on the channel. So with that, Nick, can you please leave us with the credo?
A bit of chaos.
Created a monster.
Yeah, true.
Sacre bleu.
He was already a monster.
That's right. That's right.
Oh.
Well, I'll say, it's several years of French under my belt. My mother is a French teacher and a Spanish teacher, so I have to make
True.
sure that I am, doing her proud. So I will do my best when I am able. But with that said, I just have to say, Rhym, this is just a beautiful conversation. I think it's exactly what we had expected. It's everything that we had hoped. You are a real human. I think that's important, right? I think that's, especially now, as you mentioned, with the AI slop that's out there. It's very important that we embrace our community, that we embrace our humanity, that we continue to tell real human stories. And you're doing that, and you
100%.
are going to keep doing that. And we know that. I really do believe that your moral compass will stay intact. It will be challenged over time as we know it, and I'm sure that it has been already, but I think it's strong, and we appreciate you for that. So with that, I will say to our filmmaking friends, family, followers out there, be better, be creative, be engaged.
And thank you for listening. Nick, talk to you again soon.
Yeah, man, we'll do this again. This is too much fun not to.
Yeah, Papa Bear, Rhym, talk to you soon. Appreciate you.
Sounds great.
See ya.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.